Welcome to today's group seminar. Today's speaker is Foivos, and he will tell us something about parameterized point of view and forming small curves.
Okay, thank you, Michal, for the nice introduction. Yes, this is a joint work with Nikolaos Melisinos and Harmender Gahalawat. He had visited us at some point last year, maybe, and we worked on that. Okay, this is the official title. The correct title should be How to Assign the Rooms in Homonolo. So, for people who are not familiar with this, Homonolo is a nice workshop that happens in a nice cabin in the middle of nowhere. So, it's meant to be a place for younger researchers to meet and discuss problems and work and produce things. And it's like 1 week. So we have to sleep there. And of course, we have to be working even while sleeping, right? So we want to put people in the same rooms as other people with which they are willing, or there is a high probability, if they are working together, for something good to happen. So this is very easy. We put everybody together, right? One room, maximized everything. Well, problem is the rooms are kind of small. At most 5 people, at least in my experience, the rooms were like maximum 5 people. So that's the question. How do we split these nice people into groups of 5? While maximizing the potential research output, which will happen during sleeping. Okay? So we can model this as a graph. We have a vertex for each person, and 2 people are adjacent if they are compatible. Okay? We can go a step further and put a weight on the edge, signaling how much compatible they are. So higher number, more compatibility. And we assume that this compatibility thing is symmetric. So if I can work well with you, we are assuming that you can work well with me as well. Now the problem becomes a very nice graph theory problem, where we have a graph, a weighted graph. There are weights on the edges, and there is a capacity. The capacity is the size of the rooms. And now we need to find a subset of the edges and delete them, so that all the connected components that remain are of order at most C, at most the size of the rooms, and we have minimized the total sum of the deleted edges. Or we have maximized the sum of the weights of the remaining edges. It's the same thing. Okay? So that's our problem. Does everybody understand the problem? I imagine. So some notations. We will talk about C partitions with C calligraphic. Well, it's basically a partition of the vertex set, so that no part of the partition has more than C vertices. Amazing. And we have the value of the partition, which is exactly the sum of the weights of the remaining edges. The equivalent formulation now with this new notation is we want to find a C partition of the graph of maximum value. These 2 things are equivalent, the bottom one and the top one. Okay. Now, what is known? Well, not much, not very much. Recently, this problem was kind of introduced in the setting of hedonic games, and there are some. This was a math paper, and there were some approximation results. I have messed up what I have written about the approximation results. I know that the approximations that appear are not overlapping, but please take them with a grain of salt. And also in the first paper, they also proved that the problem is NP complete for any number of for rooms of size 3, which was already proven before them, but it was in a different paper with a completely different name and completely irrelevant to this thing at first glance. Like the name was deleting edges to restrict the size of an epidemic. But apparently it is here as well. And in this completely irrelevant paper, there is also an FPT algorithm parameterized by the tree width plus the size of the cars, the rooms. Finally, there is also this nice approximation algorithm for the unweighted case. So there are some results for the weighted, some results for the unweighted case. The ratios I have put are correct. I do not remember what is approximated. Just to be clear about this. And there are some additional works which are kind of interesting. There is a work here which is almost the same problem as ours. They do not have a bound on the size of the rooms. Instead, they have the weights to be in Q. So some people like working with each other, others do not want to work with each other, negative numbers. There is also an online version where the graph appears at each time step. So what we did, we have come up. We looked into the parameterized complexity of this thing, shocking, and we have some positive results for the weighted version, which is a tree width algorithm parameterized by an algorithm parameterized by the tree width plus the size of the rooms. For the weighted version, this does not get covered from the previous tree width algorithm. It was for the unweighted version, so amazing improvement there. We also have an FPT algorithm parameterized by the vertex cover. And these two kind of running times kind of seem a bit bad. But we kind of know that we cannot do much better. And we also know that we can never hope, it's highly improbable to have an algorithm by the tree width by itself. In the middle results is that there is a polynomial kernel for the unweighted case, which probably does not get translated for a polynomial kernel for the weighted case, because we showed that this is unlikely. And we have an FPT algorithm parameterized by the vertex integrity. So this is what we have done. I will try to present to you so if you are like, if you are not familiar with some of those things, don't worry. You need the vertex cover, you know the vertex cover, perfect. So I'm going to present our FPT algorithm parameterized by the vertex cover, the polynomial kernel, and there exists no polynomial kernel for the weighted case. Okay, so let's go. Vertex cover. We have here our vertex cover. We have here our independent set. And we take a projection of the optimal partition on the vertex cover, which means I compute all of them, and I do whatever I will do for all of them. And if what I do here is polynomial, then I have my promised running time. So let's say that here we have C1, Ci, Tac, Cj. And the first observation is that this P, right? There is no reason to have vertices that are not in the vertex cover. Okay, so what will we do? So we are going to come up with an FPT algorithm for the weighted version, parameterized by the vertex cover. So these are the projections. Each one of those has some sort of space. How much space there is left in those before they get saturated. So we are going to create here independent sets, one for each of those. And we will put them so that their sizes, as you cannot see here probably, their sizes is equal to how much more vertices I can put into the projections up there. Right? Yes, I have written that. And then if there is a vertex here, well, we will put all of them. And if there is a vertex there, well, we are going to put all of them. So now we know that I can include at most all of these. I can include U here. If I include U here, then this will go down by 1 because I put one vertex up there. Now, what do we do with the weights? Well, here there is, let's say that U goes to some vertices here. And there is weight 1, weight 2, weight da da da. Well, here I will put the sum of those weights. Okay? Is this clear? No, this is not P, this is rho.
This is rho.
And similar here, I will have prime until prime mu. And I will have these to be the primes. Okay? So how do I decide? How do I decide if U goes with Ci or Cj? And it has to go only to one of those. Okay, so you have there what I tried to kind of sketch here. Now it's the magic thing. It's called matching. So I compute a maximum matching of this thing, of this bipartite graph. And then I know that, okay, if this vertex is matched here, well, I will put this vertex into this coalition. Yes, I will call them coalitions. Now I know that I cannot put more than how many vertices I have here. So I know that I did not break how many people are in the same room. And I know that this choice here is the optimal for the weights because exactly I found the maximum matching. Here is the matching. Okay. Okay? Here is, so we need to do this for every possible projection here. This is why we have this exponential vertex cover to the big O of the vertex cover, and the rest is matching. Okay. Questions? Okay. Scared? No. Who is scared? No.
I mean, having O in the exponent is scary.
It's scary. Yes, I know it's scary. We recall that we do have this thing here. So
yes, but I mean, why not having a concrete constant there?
Because nobody suggested it.
I am personally very happy that we did not have to resort to linear programming for this, so which would have been even worse. So, no, I mean running time wise. Okay, so kernel. I will try to not erase this. Yes, I don't have to draw so much here. Okay. Kernel. Polynomial kernel for the vertex cover. What have I written there? Okay, you construct H. What is H? So we have our graph. We have our graph here. Again, I have my vertex cover and my independent set. Let's say here I have a vertex W that sees a vertex X up there. Well, this is the graph G. This is my independent set. Well, the graph H is, again, I will take my independent set, but this time I will name it Y. And up here, what I do is I blow up those vertices. I have x1 until xt. This is my W, where t is equal to vertex cover times the cars, the rooms, plus this. Now, the main observation, okay, so you consider the procedure. I find a perfect matching of this, perfect maximum matching of this. If this vertex is not matched to everything, I delete it and I repeat. The really important observation here is that any vertex of the vertex, best case, my coalitions, every vertex of the vertex cover will participate in a fully saturated room, and this will give me a number of vertices that participate, which is equal to vc times c. So this is basically what we will take advantage of. This is why we have this thing here, basically. So let's see why this thing is safe, why deleting this W here, if it's never matched, why this thing is safe. And let's take a optimal partition. And observe that if this optimal partition has this W as a singleton, well, it does nothing. It does not add to the value. So we can ignore it. We can compute the solution for the rest, and we are happy. If this is not the case, I repeat, W is something that is never matched here, not matched. So if this is not the case, this means that there exists exactly this X here, and that W and X are in the same set of the coalition. And since this is not matched to any of those, it means that here, those things are matched to other things, other vertices. How many other vertices? This many other vertices. This means that here I can find C minus 1 bad vertices that contribute nothing. Because at most I can have this many vertices participating in my coalitions. So here I have these many vertices that do nothing. Well, I might just as well find them here. They are here. Take them, add X, and create a new coalition. And now this has one less neighbor up there. Now this did not increase the value of the coalition because these were doing nothing before. These are doing nothing now as well. These were doing nothing before and they were matched to vertices here. So there are edges here. Okay? So basically, this is how I can repeat this procedure until I reach for this guy to be alone in a coalition as a singleton. And then I can ignore it. Okay? Is this scary as well, Nondra?
Sure.
Okay. Questions? And now I will need to erase. So you knew that this would happen.
Yes.
And now we go to the more fun stuff. Where I will need 3 colors.
Oh.
Or 2, oh no, 3. So, we will show that there is no polynomial kernel for the weighted case in respect to vertex cover plus the size of the rooms. Sorry, I keep saying cars because at the beginning we were thinking about this problem with cars. Sorry. So we will do a reduction from the K multicolored clique, a careful reduction, let's say. For everybody who, okay, you are familiar, but here is your K multicolored clique. This is why I mean a careful reduction. We have to be careful about the size of our parameter, about the size of the vertex cover of the graph we are producing. No? So, I have my K multicolored clique. I know you all know what this is. I just need this thing. Y, Z. So let's say that this edge exists there. How are we building the graph? I will try to build the graph. I will try to not give you the graph directly and try to explain a bit the thought process behind it. Well, first we are going to build some some sets for each one of those, which are going to look like that. I will do it for the eye first. So I have it with one eye. Tap, tap, tap. For the moment, I don't know how many vertices this has. I will know shortly. But the important thing is that we also have the V's here. And these V's are also unknown, but the same unknown. Okay? So this is my VI. Since I have the J here, might as well do the J. Question mark?
Is it the same one?
Not necessarily. I don't know.
Question mark, right?
I don't know. Maybe it's the same one.
Yes.
Maybe it's not. We will see.
So it's the same
Question mark representing the different.
So it's J or I? Yes. So this time it's J, right?
This time I is J, yes.
Sorry. This was correct. Okay.
No, let's index in the top.
Yeah,
It should be one, right?
No, V,
J,
one J.
one.
J, one down, J down. Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. I know I promised I will not give you the graph without explaining, but bear with me a bit more. I also have here some independent sets of size
3 times as large, okay.
I didn't say they are larger. I will add everything here, everything here, everything here, everything here. Okay. For the moment, you know nothing about the edges. Well, now it's the funny thing. Now it will start making sense, I hope. Because we will define these selection sets, which for each, okay, I take an arbitrary ordering of those things, and for each one of these vertices, I define. So let's say that if y is v32 in vi, well, I give to it I give it a number, which is the binary representation of the index of this number. So exactly what I wrote there. And then we have a function that for each vertex here selects vertices here. And if the first index, the first bit is 0, then it selects this one. If it's 1, it selects this one. Okay? So do I know now the sizes of these? Yes, I do. Binary representation of n. So, okay, so this starts making more sense probably. And these are the same. Okay, now we have fewer question marks. And now we can start adding the edges. How do I add my edges? Well, for each edge here that is y, z, well, I add y is in vi, so it will be connected to this. Z is in vj, it will be connected to this. I will add here only towards these, and here only towards these. Okay, so let's say that these are this, and this. And let's say that here it's this, and this. Now, the idea here is to basically create the parts in our partition to be these ones, more or less, and half of that. So this one and half of that. And then do the rest with the, if there are these edges or not, to translate to the multicolored clip. There might be the case that this thing gets disconnected and we kind of want all of these parts to be one connected thing. So we need one final vertex here, which is connected to everything in this part, not here. Okay? So now, I have promised you that this is for the weighted case, and there are no weights. The weights will kind of come from the properties that we want these things to validate. The first one is that for every one of those, all of this is in the same coalition. Well, to achieve this, I will put here weight huge. Okay, so if I don't have even one of them, I am suboptimal. Okay, the second one is that if a part has this vertex, then it also has exactly log n vertices from here. To achieve this, I will play with the size of this. Yes, and the size of this, why? It's simple, no? The size of this will be equal to
It's minus huge.
the size of this will be yes. So that I have 1 plus this and exactly log n vertices from here.
So the small c should rather be another.
The small c,
The c of the small coalitions should be at least log n.
The C should be at least log n.
I don't see the c.
The collision size.
The collision
C
Ah,
should be at
yes,
least
yes. The collision size, we'll come to that. Yes.
Okay.
And
Small.
also, in order to indeed have them, we will also put some large weight here, where large is smaller than huge, according to ladder. Okay, that's it. And the last one is that basically there is going to be one coalition that will have x, all of those edge vertices, and the halves of those that were not selected from that side. And to achieve this, this will have large but with a small edge. Trust me, you don't want to see the exact things here. But that's it. That's it. That's the construction. That's finished. With this finished the construction, more or less. We do have this. So now what will basically happen? Okay, so I give you also the C, Dushan, that you were so much looking forward to. So basically this C is set up so that the coalition that contains X has X, log n vertices from each one of those, and the edges, the vertices from the edges. Okay. And then the reduction is such, the value of the coalition is set into a very specific atrocious number, which makes sure that basically all of those things have to go together. All of those things have to go together. And the value is reached if and only if these vertices here connect the corresponding vertices. There's the click, basically. Okay. And that's it. Ah, no, that's not it. There is still some calculations to be had. Remember that we have to be careful about the size of the vertex cover of this thing. Well, the size of the one vertex cover of this thing is this vertex plus all of these plus this, which is what? It's 1 plus 2 log n times k plus k. So this is k log n order. The size of the cars is exactly that, of the rooms is exactly that. And so we have that we are well within the numbers we want to have the theorem tell us that if this thing had a polynomial kernel, then the polynomial hierarchy would collapse. Okay. Conclusion. So this is what we did. Obviously, the first question is, can we take the vertex integrity and put it into the weighted case? Maybe interesting, maybe not. There are other parameters that are open, like the neighborhood diversity and the feedback vertex set. I would also be interested by some variations of this thing. Like at the beginning, I said that the compatibility function is symmetric. If I think that I can work well with you, maybe it's not the case that you can work well with me. So there is a directed version of this thing, probably, which would be even more nightmarish. So this is one. The other variation that I came up with while preparing these slides is, so let's go back to the homonolo thing. There are some people that do not like sleeping with other people, right? So this is an extra constraint we can put, a capacity on every vertex. I would think that maybe let's go down on the constraints if we want to add this. So maybe like drop everything, drop the size of the rooms, drop drop the size of the rooms and the weights probably, and try to see if every vertex has I like sleeping with at most this many people. Let's try to see if this does anything nice. But let's think. We can think about it if you want, and maybe it's stupid, but and then there are I repeat, this was introduced recently in the context of hedonic games. There are many notions of stability and weird things that people here are better suited to do than me, and that's it. That's all I wanted to talk about.
So for the directed version, how would that work? Because I mean, okay, I can understand that there should be something like this, that the edges are directed and not both of them have the same weight. Maybe. But then if you take one, do you you should be forced to.
The main reason why I have not started working on this is that I also don't see clearly exactly how this would make sense. Maybe with strongly connected components, but that's a very valid question. It's a bit frustrating because it makes sense model-wise, doesn't maybe not make sense graph theory-wise. I don't know.
So you can just sum up the ways.
Yeah, but then it's kind of.
So would it also make sense to consider negative weights? I really don't want to sleep with this person. If people don't like.
There was one work that considered.
So do the positive results translate to negative weights as well? Because then it would make sense to have a complete graph, right? Just have some weights.
If we have a complete graph,
the only thing I remember for sure, and I can tell you about the negative ones as well, is that even the problem remains NP complete, even if the numbers are 1 and -1.
But it's a complete graph. I mean, for very dense graph.
Very dense graph, yes. So.
That would actually be my question. What about kind of dense classes or dense parameters? Is anything? So you have
parameters,
and it's neighbors. The neighbor diversity is just wide open for all cases. Okay.
Parameters, as far as I can tell, we are the only ones that are considering parameters for this thing, except for this one paper that by accident also proved a result for us.
And also, where does the classical hardness kick in? Is it hard on planar graphs?
It's from 3 partition, so it's basically it's very straightforward from 3 partition, the hardness.
But you get some sort of restricted graph class for that.
You probably get exactly what you have for the 3 partition. I think
that's a number problem.
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You mean I don't know. I don't know.
Triangles.
Partition to triangles.
Graph,
yes.
Partition.
Yes.
Yes.
Partition to triangles. Is this problem hard on planar graphs? Yes. That's my.
Okay.
What about bounded degree graphs? It makes sense, you can specify up to 3 people you want to split it, right? And in the same room.
We didn't think about this at all, which is weird because we usually think about this. I don't know. I don't know.
It's negotiable. So partitioning to triangles is NP-hard on graphs of degree 4.
Okay.
So
cubic graphs. That's why we didn't think about this.
That's hard for them.
Yes, maybe. Any more questions?
Cool. Let's